Hello, Natural Healthy Haven viewers. I hope you all had a chance to watch our last video on the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields, which stands for EMF. And if you recall, last time we had our wonderful guest speaker, Cory, who I brought back here today. And this time he's got a special treat for you. We're gonna bump it up and show you some stuff I didn't even know about. And we're gonna set the stage to hear what he has to say about more updated information with electromagnetic fields and how harmful they can be for your well-being and your homes. So off with Cory and all this great knowledge that he's about to present us with. Welcome back.
How you doing? So first I wanted to let everybody know a little bit about how electromagnetic frequencies in the common household, in your car, from your Wi-Fi, from your cell phone, the smart meters that are now on homes. I want to show how exactly they're harmful, because first of all, I'd like to back up one step and say, if you're not sure, if you're one of those people saying, is this video going to convince me that electromagnetic frequencies are literally harming my health, harming my kids, and so forth, I suggest just go to www.bioinitiative.org, because that is one of the independent websites of scientists and environmental group leaders studying EMFs. They don't sell anything. They're not funded by anybody with an agenda. That's where you're going to get your neutral opinions. Right. And the Bioinitiative happens to have over almost 5,000 studies to date. So the amount of evidence proving that EMFs are harmful is overwhelming, ridiculous. The proof's in. It's been in a long time ago. You just got to spend 5 minutes on this website and you can peruse around and start having big eyes saying, holy cow, this is some real stuff.
Sounds good.
And this is the exact EMF levels they're measuring for over a decade that we have in our houses now. And it's particularly bad because the cell phone of 3 years ago even is way different than the cell phone of today, because the cell towers themselves have jacked up all the power so much that even if you have a flip phone, you're maxing out microwave meters.
Well, I'm using microwave. We shut ours off. It's blocked. So hopefully you guys are doing the same thing. We know the harmful effects of microwaves, obviously. Okay. Well, great. So what would you like to start with? Did you want to talk about the blood and how we'd like to know how this is proven, right? Wouldn't we like to know how do we have proof that this is so bad? So that would be your department.
So first, I would love to do this. So I don't know if you can see it from this far away, but you can hopefully hear there's not much noise coming out of this meter. It's hovering pretty darn low, about what, like near zero.
Near zero,
right?
Yeah.
So you take a cell phone, which we all think is just a normal everyday thing, and now what's the meter saying?
Ooh, it's like well over 1,000.
So it says 1, right?
Now it went down to 1, yeah.
So when it says 1, that's because it maxed out the meter.
Oh.
So 1 means it went over 2,000, okay? So the Bioinitiative says that 30 on this microwave meter, it's called, it's measuring microwatts per meter squared, okay? When you go over 30 on this meter, you see biological effects, says the Bioinitiative. A lot of other studies, EMFscientist.org and EMFsafetynetwork.org, these are all independent study websites. A lot of them say don't go over 10, okay? So don't go over 30, that's like the safe limit according to the experts. The phone, we just turned it on and went over 2,000, it maxed out the meter immediately. So I just wanted to show that so people take this seriously. This isn't just, hey, trust my words, trust the studies. You know, you can see it.
Right there,
I can't buy a microwave meter. I have 5 of them. I can't buy one that measures how high a cell phone goes anymore. And I used to be able to do that 3 years ago. I can't do it anymore. So this is a big deal. You know, don't wake up later when you've had 10 years of exposure and realize that some of your health problems may have been linked directly to this.
Exactly.
So anyway, so that being said, you mentioned the blood. So how do EMFs harm people, okay? So when you have an X-ray, you have a very high frequency. That directly damages cells, that directly damages DNA, that can rip an electron off of an atom because it's a very high frequency and strong power. But low frequencies, like cell phone frequencies, are 5G is 5 billion waves a second. Sounds like a lot, but it does not directly hurt you, okay? But when these photons traveling the speed of light, which is what EMFs are, through the air in a waveform, when they travel through this room, they're bashing into other particles, okay? And when they do that, they're creating new forces, chaotic subatomic forces, okay? New resonance, like almost like a tuning fork, is created that opens up our voltage-gated calcium channel. There was a study and a discovery in 2013 showing that that's the reaction, okay? What it's doing is it's opening up a gate that's on the membrane of our cells, letting in free radical calcium that's not supposed to be inside the cell, now it's getting inside. It's like it's opening up a door that's not supposed to be open. So all of our cells are getting free radical damage from this. So it's not the EMF, but the EMF causes this chaos in an environment, which causes our reaction, which causes, you know, all the other symptoms. So fatigue and sleep problems, the cancer studies, the Alzheimer's studies.
Well, I can tell you with me the thyroid, I literally got bombarded with my thyroid, and as soon as I started grounding my phone, and I think you were the one that discovered that too. I remember you came back, I'm like, my thyroid numbers are back up, and it was because of that. It was just that. So yeah, that's a killer.
So anyway, that's a little bit of how it happens. And so this is a neat study here, because hopefully if people can close up, this is a person's healthy blood. And this was we had somebody downtown San Diego, an expert. They prick your finger, they put your blood on a slide, and they look at it under a microscope and try to tell you what's going on with your health. There's healthy red blood cells, round, spaced apart, delivering oxygen very well. Then we had this person stand in front of a smart meter, and this is what their blood looked like after 2 minutes, standing in front of a smart meter, which is blasting microwaves, same as a cell phone, at you. So 2 minutes, the reason that the blood looks normal is because we had one of our products sitting on top of the smart meter, which created a field which stops our voltage-gated calcium channel reaction, which stops basically all observable effects we've ever measured that EMFs cause people. So this person's 2 minutes with our products, same person 5 minutes later, this is what their blood looked like 2 minutes in front of the same smart meter, but we took our product away. So you can see what you've seen in lots of other studies, the blood starts sticking together. Like red blood cells are clumped up, it's called rouleau, okay? The white centers are glucose, they're called target cells. That's because they have the free radical damage, they're trying to rapidly repair themselves, okay? It took about 2 minutes to mess this blood up, being exposed to EMFs. With our products, there was no effect. But without our products, 2 minutes. It took 15 minutes for this blood that's in damage repair mode to get back to looking like normal. But it does get back if you get yourself in a remediated environment, either without EMFs or protected environment.
So at least the good news is we know that it can go back to normal, but something's got to be done to make it go back to normal, and that's where all your great equipment comes in. We can do it that way. So yeah, that looks very damaging. I mean, we don't want to go through life knowing that that's really what's happening, you know, undercovers in our blood. So that's good to know that you guys proved it now.
Well, we proved it in a lot of ways. There's Accugraph and Avatar and a ton of testimonials, mold testing, blood testing, muscle testing if you like that. You got a chiropractor or somebody who does that. So we actually have a long list of ways that we've proven our products work. But this is neat because it's visual. It's actually what's happening to you and your cells. My next favorite is the mold study, because
I want to hear about that.
When our products are around, it seems to be like the mold is not reacting. So some people who are into being healthy probably know Dr. Oz on the TV. Well, Dr. Mercola and Dr. Klinghardt are kind of like the Dr. Oz of the internet. And so he's had studies showing that mold and other bugs, that's what I call virus, bacteria, fungus, parasites, all that. So the bugs grow faster when they're around cell phone frequencies, Wi-Fi frequencies, things like that. So they grow so much faster, sometimes up to 600 times faster. So if you have mold in your house, it's usually where your Wi-Fi is where the mold problems are worse. But the problem is all the bugs are in us too. So if all these bugs have an advantage inside of us, that the same reaction happens.
Right, exactly.
So we have a cool little simple experiment. I don't know if you can see it, but
see if they can see it.
There's 2 pieces of bread that we put right next to a Wi-Fi. One piece of bread, we have one of our products sitting underneath the bread. The other piece is unprotected, just sitting there. So after 3 days, brand new loaf of bread. After 3 days, mold was all over this bread because it was so close to the Wi-Fi device. After more than 3 weeks, our bread from the same loaf, but sitting on top of one of our products, no evidence of mold whatsoever. So it's just reproving again that the observable effects caused by EMFs don't seem to be happening at all if you use our products correctly.
Right, exactly.
So
wow, that is really good evidence right there, and it's scary to think. First of all, mold, how damaging it is. Because I know I personally, when I work on people and they have mold in them, my goodness, there is like so much they have to do to get it out. It clings in their body. It is the most damaging thing for their heart, for their brain, for their immune. So that is the last thing you want to have to deal with is mold. So I'm glad you proved that one. That was really
Yeah, this is one of many problems. It's just one more.
Yeah, just one more to add to the list, right?
Well, yeah, one more that we do add to the list.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of other cool things. Now this one, I know we spoke about on the last video. I love this. And this one now even came out with a thinner version. So that's even better. And you were saying it's even stronger than the other one, or?
Yeah, we got a new material. We've made it thinner. So this, you know, thin little job, it goes on the back of your cell phone, close to the cell phone battery. The battery activates what's in here, creates a field, and then really we've had no observable effects whatsoever when a cell phone's off in your pocket, when it's on a phone call, or even live streaming video when the EMFs are to a astronomical level.
Right.
So this is, and the cool thing is this is a material we found in nature. And it has scientific properties that are testable, and we have a special meter to do so. It's going to last more than 100 years.
Beautiful.
So this isn't something that wears out, and I know there's a product we made that did wear out that we never sold, and some other companies do.
All right, so then it looks like you've got this cool patch, which I know is cool because I have one myself, and I put it in my clothing to protect me, and there's little fans in the back, which you can talk more about, but I know this part has to touch your skin. But it definitely is a protector, and Cory's going to explain to you exactly why that protects us. Go for it.
So we have our EMF remediation material that we test with special meters. We find it from nature. Again, it's going to last, you know, theoretically well over 100 years. Technically, to explain a little bit about our secrets, there's a tiniest magnet, and then there's a certain kind of metal that activates this material. So when you face it the correct direction, it remediates and basically remediates EMF, so you're mostly not affected when you're out in the, you know, at the mall or wherever. So read the instructions. Of course, you don't want to place it this way because it literally is a negative on your health. So if you face it the correct way, it's a super positive, and if you face it the wrong way, because there's a magnetism that's created, you know, pushing the properties into you or taking them out. So then we're
that's how I knew to
very much well off in this direction.
Good.
This is great because if you're not in a protected environment like we are right now, you know, when you're driving in the car, when you're going to the mall, when you're going everywhere else, you're sitting in school, you can have this on you, and you're mostly protected.
Well, I would think even when you're going through airports, I'm constantly going in and out of airports, and you know, I'm just wondering though, like, 'cause sometimes they tell you take everything out of your pockets. Would they care if you went through with that? Like,
well, I don't make the rules, so I can't officially.
But I would think if you could get away with it, this is a cool thing. I mean, it's harmless, but it's protecting you as you go through that.
I do all the time.
Okay.
So the X-ray machine that you go through is going to have direct effects, which this isn't going to fix the X-ray direct effects. You have to just not be in front of it or block it if it's an X-ray. But all the non-heating effects, all the non-thermal effects of non-ionizing or ionizing radiation, this is going to protect all of those.
Okay, beautiful.
So, you know, if you're in a microwave and it's slamming again, the particles are so bad it's creating heat, that's not what we're doing. But we're remediating the EMFs for the non-thermal effects for sure. So I do wear it through the airport. I go through the scanner, but more than the scanner, when you're in an airport, there's radar everywhere, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. When you get on a plane, I used to just fall asleep immediately when I was on the plane. And I didn't understand why. And I would wake up not feeling refreshed. You would think, you know.
It's draining. It's really draining.
But it was because I'm getting slammed by so many EMFs in the plane. They just happened to make me tired and want to go to sleep to deal with it. So now that I have the patch on, I don't get tired anymore. So that's just one of
good. You
many
can look outside and see
fun
where you're
effects
traveling.
that
It's more
I've
fun
seen.
than dozing off through the whole ride. Okay,
Right.
I like that. Okay.